things no one tells you about growing longer hair, in specific natural hair. I think that most of the videos being made on YouTube about growing longer hair and specifically talking about like natural hair, they make it, not all of them, but a lot of them make it seem like this big deal or mystery that really isn't. Growing longer hair just requires better hair habits that perhaps you're not used to or weren't used to prior to growing your hair longer. I think a lot of times we make it a lot harder than what it actually really is. Growing your hair longer just requires you to have habits that you perhaps didn't have before, such as one big one for me was don't let your hair get so dry that it becomes very matted and tangled. This was a concept for me that I really didn't understand until I started really understanding my hair, allowing my hair to get so tangled, so dried, well, super dried, which leads to tangles, which leads to matted hair, which leads to breakage. That was a big concept for me to understand. I feel like growing up, I didn't understand really how thick my hair was and also how dangerous it was to like kind of wet my hair and just let it dry without being stretched. That is natural hair's probably biggest enemy. Not letting your hair get super matted or dry to the point that it's tangling and it's matting and then therefore it's breaking, because in order to get it out of those tangles and those mats you have to detangle it, and that is going to lead to breakage. And anything that leads to breakage is going to lead to the opposite of length retention. So that's one of the things I had to understand about my hair. The second thing I had to understand about my hair is that in order to keep it moisturized and detangled at the same time, that was going to require me to keep it in more stretched and maintained styles. So this simply just meant keep it stretched, right? Like don't just wet your hair and throw it in some loose bun or just let it sit there and tangle around itself, because what happens to my hair, which is what happens to a lot of natural hair, is that in its natural state, tight coils or tight curls tend to wrap around itself and tend to kind of just form these knots and these tangles. And that's why you'll often hear a lot of naturals complain about things such as fairy knots, right? And fairy knots are particularly common and it happens pretty much to everybody. But a way to sort of like combat fairy knots, combat knots in general that leads to matting, is basically keeping your hair in stretch styles. And that looks a little bit different for everybody. Some people like twists, some people like, cornrows. Me personally, I like to braid my hair in two sides, or I like to put it in a bun, or some type of style like that. I really don't like to spend hours styling my hair. The longest I will spend styling my hair is usually just like blow drying it and straightening it. But like actually just like styling it, I prefer not to spend a long time. And in general, I am pretty low maintenance with my hair. When it is straight, it is either in two braids, a ponytail, or a bun. Low bun, high bun, whatever. And pretty much when my hair is in its natural state, it's pretty much in the same styles. Either it's low bun, high bun, two braids, whatever, but just something stretched, something where I can add a lot of moisture to my hair and just in a controlled state. I never just wet my hair and just let it be, because that is in particular very, very detrimental when it comes to like avoiding breakage for me. If I do that, I am asking for a bunch of breakage, and breakage is not what I want. Obviously, I want the opposite of breakage, which is length retention, keeping the hair that's on my head. Now, of course, breakage is completely different from shedding. Everybody sheds. I think I read that we shed up to 100 hairs a day. Some people more, some people less, but it happens, right? There's really nothing you can do to stop hair fall. It's just something that happens to everyone. It's a part of life. It's a part of the growth cycle phase in your hair. And your hair goes through cycles of growth, if you didn't know. The top two for me are keeping my hair moisturized and keeping it in controlled states, stretch states, to kind of like hold in that moisture. And also, when we detangle our hair, we do a lot of work detangling our hair. So one way we can preserve that work is by keeping our hair in stretch styles and not allowing it to retangle. So yeah, those are, some ways that you can pretty much guarantee your hair to retain length. Another thing is I never ever ever brush or comb my hair dry. I will only detangle my hair in the shower with lots of conditioner in it. And I don't even comb my hair to detangle it. I will like use a comb to style and part my hair, but not actually to like detangle it. These cause a lot of breakage for me. It's much more better for me to use a brush like this or another type of paddle brush from like Conair or something to detangle in the shower versus trying to use a comb. Number one, this is going to take forever. Me trying to get through my hair one by one, little by little, is going to take forever versus using something that's bigger, that's a little bit more durable, that I can just like actually detangle a whole section. And so realistically, who wants to be in the shower for hours trying to detangle section by section? In the shower, I part my hair in two. I put one part up and I shampoo it and condition this side. And when I put my conditioner in, I just like kind of wrap it up in like a little space bun, and I'll put like a clip or a hairband, and I'll do the same to the other side. I'll let the conditioner sit for a while, like while I shave or do anything else that I'm doing in the shower. And then once it's sat for a few minutes, I will take like lukewarm water, and as that water is running through my hair, that is when I am starting to detangle. And I literally go from the bottom to the top, and that's what I do in the shower. And once I get to the top, I'm making sure that I can feel my scalp. That is how, for me in particular, that is how I make sure that my hair is detangled. If I cannot feel my scalp and feel the brush going through, then I feel like I still have areas that are tangled or matted somewhere. And when that happens, I'll just slowly kind of break it apart, find where it's at, get it out, and then again go through this one section all at the same time with the paddle brush, with the water and conditioner running out of my hair, and detangle it. Once I've detangled it to my liking, I will take a hairband or just like a clip like this, and I'll clip it up, and I'll do the same thing to the next side, and I'm done. If I'm going to straighten my hair, I'll rinse all the products out of my hair and put it back in those little space buns. But if I'm going to keep my hair in its natural state, I'll just style it in the shower, and I'll usually just put a really moisturizing conditioner as my leave-in and start styling it however I want to style it in the shower, either two braids, a high bun, or a low bun, pretty much. And yeah, that's like my big thing. I really don't do the whole wash and go thing anymore. I just feel like, to me, it just causes way too much tangling, and also my hair takes forever to dry, and they just have not invented anything yet that where you can do a wash and go and it dries in like 2.3 seconds, because it's really annoying to walk around with wet hair. It's not a good feeling. I hate going to sleep with wet hair. I hate going out with wet hair, unless it's like in braids or like a bun or something, then I don't mind it being damp. But I don't like to have my hair just like kind of loose and like out. Again, these are just habits that I learned that over time, and it's so simple, guys. I mean, I use really simple products. I use a regular shampoo and conditioner. I said most of the time, 98% of the time, I'm using like drugstore products. So I'm using like L'Oreal, and yeah, this is what I do. But my routine has become a habit. It's become a habit because, number one, I am not really extra when it comes to my hair in terms of doing too much to it. So like, I'm lazy, like I always say. And so I don't want to like spend forever and a day on my hair. So I literally just shampoo, condition it, detangle, and then however I'm gonna style, and then I keep it moving. But I'm not gonna sit here and like, you know, put a regular conditioner in my hair, rinse that out, then put a deep conditioner in, get out of the shower, get back in I'm not doing all of that. We're gonna do it in one swoop and one swoop only, and we keep it moving. And honestly, since I adapted a less is more attitude when it came to my hair, growing my hair has been a lot easier than it's ever been. And to be honest, I don't even clock my hair anymore. I don't clock it like, oh, is it growing, is it growing? I don't clock it like that anymore because I pretty much have a length retention routine down, and it works for me. The products that I use are pretty much the same. Perhaps sometimes I may incorporate a new product, but for like the most part, I use a shampoo, a conditioner, a leave-in, which is usually a conditioner, and sometimes hair serums. Most of the time that especially when I leave my hair in its natural state, I'm always going to use a hair serum. I just find that it helps to like really moisturize my hair and keep that moisture and that like lubrication on my hair strands. So I always generally use a hair serum of some sort, whether thick, whether light, or whatever. I use a hair serum. I love silicones. My hair loves silicones. I don't think I could detangle without them. I mean, I'm quite sure I could, but they really help me to detangle and manage my hair. So you won't see me really using too many new products on my hair. And then 9 times out of 10 when I'm home, I use clips. I have a whole thing of like clips. And so 9 times out of 10 my hair is like clipped up if it's not in like a ponytail. And that is just how I preserve my hair when it's straightened. And honestly, I straighten my hair to really be lazy because it's just, I have to wash it less versus when my hair is like in a natural state, I do kind of have to touch it up a little bit more because I need to be able to, you know, just re-moisturize it, just like revitalize it with water and some conditioner. So that's why 9 times out of 10 my hair is like, you know, if it's straightened, it's literally because I'm being lazy. But if you want to grow your hair, less is more. People, they'll be like, oh, but what is the secret? The secret is literally just doing the same things over and over again, over and over again. But in a way that's non-damaging to your hair, okay? Being kind to your hair, treating your hair with ease, and you know, not damaging it. It's not just something you do like 2 days a week. This is something you do all the time. Now, I'm not saying that I don't dye my hair, because I told you guys I do. I do dye my hair. I dye it black. I put heat on my hair. I use the Rev Air to blow dry it. But there's certain things I don't do. Like I don't just, like I never do my hair if I'm in a rush or I'm tired, you know. I'll never just like start yanking through my hair, yanking through it and yanking through tangles and like not paying attention to it. I'll never do things like that again. I think when I was younger and I was a teenager, I really didn't understand, like, wow, like you're causing a lot of damage and breaking off your hair by a lot of the things that you're doing. There's a lot of things I'll never do to my hair again. I'll never obviously put relaxers in my hair. For me personally, I do think that relaxers were a big problem for my hair. It broke it off and it made it 10 times thinner than what it is. Like I still like that's not to say like I never have breakage, right? Because I want you guys to understand everybody has breakage, everybody has shedding. You're never like gonna stop having breakage. When you touch your hair, when you brush it, whatever, you still have breakage, but it's just not at the rate that it once was. Like for me, when I was relaxed, I had so much breakage. On top of using a terribly damaging chemical to my hair, it was also me letting my hair get super dry. It was me not knowing how to detangle correctly. It was me not understanding that detangling my hair dry, terrible. It was damaging to my hair. So there were so many concepts I did not understand about hair growth that it took time for me to understand, and it will take time for anyone to understand, especially if it's not their normal habit. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna share more with you guys about hair growth. There was somebody that asked me to do a video on TWAs, and I will. That was like my favorite stage of hair growth because, oh man, TWA, you only have a little bit of hair. It takes you 2 seconds to style it. It air dries in 2 seconds, and it was like one of the best stages of hair growth for me. So I'll definitely make a video on how to grow out, you know, your teeny weeny afro once you big chop and everything like that. I've definitely big chopped about like 4 or 5 different times. It wasn't necessarily from relaxing. Sometimes it was just I wanted to style my hair and bleach and dye it all different kinds of colors. But yeah, guys, we'll get into more of that later in a different video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.